Finally, a long anticipated video, part two of our $100,000 portfolio and turning it into millions. How is it going? What is going on? And honestly, everything you guys need to know, and basically stock changes, things like that. So let's get started. So first off, to kind of explain it just a little bit, I'm putting $100,000 into stocks. I'll be throwing $100,000 in a long-term stock so we can do this journey together. The reason of me making this video is that I believe that everybody should have a long-term, even if you're not even a daily investor like myself. Just honestly, I think everybody needs one, and this is how you can build your wealth pretty well. The money probably wouldn't really look too good to you at first, but then, when you do need money, this is what you got to go to. But at the same time, always have your emergency fund first and make sure your debt is honestly high interest debt. Hopefully it's paid off in the meantime. With that being said, though, let's get started. This is if you want to take your stock market trading to the next level. I made an option course PDF basically explaining everything that you guys need to know about reading charts, reading options, option strategies, because honestly, man, if you go into options without strategies, you will lose a lot of money. So this is how you can make money on option plays. I also have a long-term PDF too, just to kind of go along with this video, teach you guys a little bit more, and honestly, give you guys more stocks to trade. But mainly, you guys don't have to get this. I mainly just did this to kind of benefit you guys a little bit more for the people that want to start making more money. And honestly, just take it to the second level. It's not even that much money. You'll make your money back in the first trading day. I can guarantee that. But honestly, I try to teach you guys everything you guys need to know on YouTube. And check out the video tomorrow. It's going to tell you guys what you guys need to expect for next week for trading. And remember, Monday is off. Just want to say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you guys what to buy, hold, or sell. But I'm here to give you guys ideas, basically. And if you guys want to follow along with the journey, I do recommend watching the first video. It explains a little bit more of how to start a long-term, what stocks I'm really investing in, why did I invest into them, and why they're bullish and why they're bearish, and why they're good buys. This one, I'm just giving you guys updates on maybe what I added, what I'm trying to add, and just things like that. So first off, man, how's it going? We're up $9,100 so far, and it's been like 3 or 4 weeks, which isn't too bad. And some key stocks to watch is that ATAI. I think I added that one after the video, but I made another video on ATAI. So if you want to understand it a little bit more, basically go check that video out to understand that stock a little bit more. But we're going to be talking about why it became bullish overall. And then another one is Curiosity Stream, which is Curry basically. And that one went up 80%. So that one's a noticeable move. Robinhood also was one that moved a decent amount. Palantir is kind of dying right now, so it's not really too much. And then the other ones like Nvidia, we had some decent deals. I don't have too much in the video right now. And then Costco is moving okay, but it's not moving that great yet. And some other ones that aren't really doing too good quite yet. But honestly, man, I think another one to really talk about is Apple, just because of how bearish Apple is looking right now. But I'm holding this for 5, 10, 20 years. So I'm not really too tripping about the red in Apple, but we did add a little bit more to Apple a little bit later because I wanted to dollar cost average, but we're down $1,000 now. So, but I think I got the most in Apple. Yeah, I got the most in Apple. So honestly, it's going to be, you're going to see bigger numbers in Apple down and up. But with that being said, what happened to the overall market? So we did get new tariffs with Trump. So basically talking about Apple in general, on iPhones, I think there's a 25% tariffs, and he is coming at the EU for 50% tariffs. And honestly, it is spooking investors. Why? Because honestly, after that 90-day pause, we've just been getting positive news with the trade talks and stuff like that, making it seem like, all the bad news is behind us. But then he came out finally talking about some new tariffs, especially on the EU. Doesn't really look too good. And with that being said, that 25% tariff on iPhones, it is also on other companies too. So I think like Samsung and stuff like that, if it's not made in the US, you're going to be suffering from a 25% tariff. Another thing is rising bond yields. So the 30-year hit 5.15%, makes stocks look less attractive. We also got the credit news, the US credit news, kind of like a degrade, showing that, kind of in short, the credit score of USA went down basically, so making borrowing more expensive. And honestly, man, a little bit more fear in the market with that. But people kind of brushed it off the next day. But honestly, we started getting bad news a little bit after that too. So yeah, we also have weak job reports. So to raise recession fears, we had a tech sell-off, especially in Nvidia and Broadcom, dragged the market down, and global slowdown signs. So from the UK and Europe, adding pressure. So honestly, man, the overall market is looking a little bit down, but the long term is still green. So I'm not too tight, With that being said, so Apple, so we do got the tariff threat, so the 25% tariffs on iPhones. iPhone sales also fell 17%. losing market share to local brand. I think the Chinese exports fell to like 2011 lows or something like that. So that did look pretty bad on Apple. So Apple's just looking horrible right now. AI rollout issues. So with Apple Intelligence delayed and not available in China, there's just so much. And the analysts are downgrading the stock now. So in a weak market sentiment, added pressure. Tech sector volatility also dragged Apple down, making its worst week since 2020. So Apple has been looking pretty bearish. But if you were to ask me if I'm going to take this out of my long term, no, I'm not. Because honestly, man, Apple is still a great company, man. And I don't think anybody's going to trade their iPhone in for a Samsung or anything like that. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think if you've been using Apple this long, you're not going to upgrade to another phone. Unless Apple just honestly, somebody else makes a better phone, of course. But I think people are just going to keep on using Apple products. I personally use a Mac. It's probably my best purchase ever. And honestly, man, I think Apple is a great stock and a great company overall, especially to hold, especially if you see Apple kind of falling a little bit more. I do recommend looking into adding this to your long term and or just make your savings account or something like that. You won't regret it. Next one is going to be Robinhood. So they had strong quarter 1 earnings. Profits basically doubled. Revenues were up 50%. We had a crypto boom. So crypto trading revenue doubled as Bitcoin surged. So Robinhood is big into the crypto sector. We also had a buyback boost. So increases stock buyback from 1 million to 1.5 billion. They had institution buying. So over $1 billion poured into Robinhood. New features and expansions. So honestly, man, they have a lot of AI portfolio tools. So they're getting more into AI and stuff like that. So honestly, man, Robinhood is just adding more things, just making it more user friendly. And this is kind of the Gen Z trading platform, if I'm being honest. Like everybody that I know uses Robinhood, and I'm probably going to hold Robinhood as long as I can. Next one is going to be Bitcoin slash IBIT. So I don't have this in my portfolio, fortunately. When I was making my long term, I was debating on adding IBIT, which is basically an ETF that moves with Bitcoin. We see Bitcoin move to like $111,000 recently, like new highs, and now we're at like 107, but it's just been pushing recently. And then IBIT went up $7 this past week, which isn't that much, but it's just an ETF that moves with Bitcoin. It's better for short-term trading, especially if you want to move with Bitcoin and just short-term trade this one. But basically, they have huge ETF inflow, so over $5 billion from institutions. So honestly, IBIT has been benefiting from Bitcoin surge. And honestly, some other stocks to watch would be MSTR because they load up a lot on Bitcoin, but it's a little bit unsafe because they're really just banking big on Bitcoin. And then you also have Coinbase, which is basically like Robinhood, but it's just an app that you buy Bitcoin from, but they just have a lot of Bitcoin too. And then Trump's Bitcoin reserve news, so bullish policy shift. You got rate cut hope, so people are so a weaker dollar boosts crypto demand, especially man with the crypto going up and the dollar going down. Honestly, probably the safest place to put your money right now. Investor holdings, so supply on exchanges is shrinking and safe haven play. So now people are saying that this is kind of like the next gold and people are putting their money into Bitcoin. So honestly, that's going to benefit you in the long run. But basically, man, I just want to say I appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe. If you enjoyed, smash that sub button and have those post notifications on so you guys never miss out on updates like this. But what makes a good long-term stock, man, if you guys want to find it yourself, just look for strong financials. So if their revenue is good, profit is good, cash flow is good, it's honestly great. Competitive advantages, brand tech patents. Another thing is, if you look below, this is when NVIDIA is at 116. Of course, it's trading higher, but this was just like an example that I wanted to use. And we even got NVIDIA's earnings coming up, so that can bring the stock up or down. But basically, just look at the revenue, $130.5 billion and a 114% increase from their $60.9 billion. And that's just a great revenue, great net income, great free cash flow. Another thing that has a free cash flow is Apple. Apple has a bunch of cash flow and it's kind of insane. So that's why I want to stay in the Apple, because Apple is just looking great, especially once Apple gets to lower prices, it's just going to look even better. But basically, man, just look for consistent growth history. So older stocks, older companies that just been basically beating for a while. If you look at Apple, and Apple honestly is probably like the longest one. I think NVIDIA is going like getting there, basically just because they got the AI, they make AI, and AI is basically the next thing up. But last but not least, I wanted to add Curiosity Stream. So this was a penny stock that I added, but this one is up 83.9%, which is insane. I didn't put that much money into it because it was a penny stock, of course. But honestly, I'm debating on selling it and then maybe repositioning myself either in this and or just buying IBIT maybe with these profits. But honestly, Curiosity Stream was my most beneficial stock, even though I didn't even put that much money into it. But basically, they reported their first ever positive net income in Q1 2025. Their revenue grew by 26% year over year. They doubled their dividend, showing confidence and they signed $7 million plus in new AI content license deals. And they got analyst upgrades with higher price targets. So honestly, this stock is looking great. So honestly, don't know when I'm going to get out. So yeah, it's like a 50-50 right now. I might sell it and or I might just hold it a little bit longer. We'll see. We'll see how everything looks. I want to do a little bit more research and stuff like that. But with that being said, though, finally, the end of the video, I just want to say subscribe, smash that like button, get those courses down in the link below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.